About a month ago, Roy Keane shocked the footballing world with his criticism of Erling Haaland following Manchester City's game against Arsenal. Now, the game ended 0-0, and for all intents and purposes, it was extremely boring, but it also saw Erling miss a very clear opportunity where he quite literally just misses the ball. Now, following the game, pundit Roy Keane had some criticism for Haaland, basically saying that while in front of goal, Haaland is the greatest goal scorer in the world, his general play lacks, and even comparing Haaland's general play to that of a League 2 player. Now, Roy Keane sort of over-exaggerating his criticism of certain players is not that uncommon. He's done it for other players, and he can sometimes be a little harsh in his criticism. But specifically with Erling Haaland, it raised a lot of eyebrows to fans. Because what many may not know, and while others are very much aware, the relationship between Roy Keane and the Haaland family, it goes back decades, with Roy Keane being involved in an extremely big beef with Erling Haaland's father, Alfie Haaland. So today I'm going to be breaking down the history of Alfie Haaland and Roy Keane, and I'm going to try to make a determination on whether or not this beef has had any impact in Roy Keane's criticism of Erling Haaland. But in order to do so, we have to rewind prior to Erling Haaland even being born, all the way back to 1997. See, at this time, Roy Keane was obviously playing for Manchester United, and Alfie Haaland was playing for Leeds. And in a game at Elland Road, it saw Roy Keane go down injured, tearing his ACL suddenly. So sudden that Alfie Haaland suspected that Roy Keane was feigning an injury and stood over the Manchester United captain and yelled at him to get up. See, Roy Keane was not feigning this injury and unfortunately was sidelined for the remainder of the season. And Roy Keane did not forget the comments from Alfie Haaland suggesting that the skipper feigned his injuries, and he would plot his revenge for almost 4 years. And fast forward those 4 years, Alfie Haaland would then be playing for Manchester City, so Roy Keane would enact his revenge in the Manchester Derby, putting in a knee-high, studs-up challenge on Alfie Haaland, which sent the Norwegian going, like, literally in a flip in the air. This tackle on Haaland is regarded as one of the dirtiest tackles in Premier League history and saw Roy Keane see a straight red and a hefty fine. Roy Keane then went on to talk about the tackle in his 2002 autobiography, stating, "I'd waited long enough. I f***ing hit him hard. The ball was there, I think. Take that, you c***, and don't ever stand over me sneering about fake injuries." So yeah, clearly Roy Keane is not the type of guy to let bygones be bygones, I guess. But for many years after that, there were rumors that this tackle by Keane ended Alfie Haaland's career. But that isn't exactly true. I do believe Alfie Haaland's career ended due to a knee injury, but from what I have seen online, it was apparently the other knee that ended his career. However, I am also seeing reports that while this challenge didn't directly end his career on the spot, it had negative impacts on the player's fitness and health, which resulted in him ending his career early. And I've seen a lot of reports from Roy Keane basically stating that he never intended to go out and injure Haaland. He just wanted to go out and hurt him. And I do want to talk about this distinction a little bit because I do think that there is a difference between trying to injure a player and trying to hurt them. Injuring a player means I want you to leave the pitch on a stretcher. Hurting a player is, I just want to give you a little knock. But I'm sorry, anyone who has played this game at any sort of level knows that putting a studs-up tackle to an opposition player's knee, you are trying to injure them. You're trying to hurt them as well, of course, but you're trying to injure that player. But nevertheless, the bad blood between Roy Keane and Alfie Haaland never seemed to be resolved. And, fast forward to present day, it makes his criticism over Haaland's son so much more interesting. Because in Erling Haaland's first season, there was no criticism from Roy Keane. But on the flip side, it's kind of hard to be critical of a guy who won a treble, broke the goal-scoring record for the Premier League, and came in second in the Ballon d'Or, only to lose out by the greatest player that's ever lived. But there are many people who have criticized Erling Haaland this season for the same reasons as Roy Keane, stating that his general play has kind of lacked. He's unbelievable at goal scoring, but his general run of play with football, it's just not up to the Premier League standards. Me personally, I don't agree with that. However, there are many people who say this. But it's the extent that Roy Keane brought it to. I mean, he compared Erling Haaland to a League 2 player. That is outrageous. He is nowhere near the level of a League 2 player, and there's not a single guy in League 2 who is at the level that Erling Haaland is. I'm sorry, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that the extent to where Roy Keane went with his criticism of Erling Haaland is due to the fact that he has ulterior motives due to his past with Haaland's father? So please, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Also, while you're at it, please don't forget to hit that like button, and if you enjoy this content, don't forget to subscribe and click that little notification bell so you know every time I post a new video. Finally, if you would be so kind, please follow me on Twitter. My link is down in the description, and I put my username right here on the screen. I want to thank you guys so much for any and all support I could be given, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.